Hello children, so now let's continue the lesson The Town by the Sea written by Amitav Ghosh. So I hope you have understood the part 1. So now let's begin with the other half. I think we finished till the 6th para in the last class. So let's continue from the 7th para. So in the part 1 we came to know that the director had lost his family, his wife, his daughter in that natural calamity tsunami. So only his son survived in that incident. So with his son he searched whole day if he could get any trace or any clue about his wife and his daughter, but he didn't get any trace about them. So with his son he traveled to Port Blair, and when he went to Car Nicobar for the second time, then the author Amitav Ghosh also went with the director. So what happened next? Let's continue. The road wound through a dense tropical jungle. It was clear that the island's interior was sparsely inhabited, with the population being concentrated along the seafront. So that road, along their way, so that place seemed to be like a dense jungle. So it was like a jungle. It was a forest which was fully covered with trees. And it was clear that the island's interior was sparsely inhabited. You have to underline sparsely inhabited. So the interior of the island was sparsely inhabited means living. So sparsely inhabited means inhabited in a scattered manner. Sparsely inhabited means inhabited in a scattered manner. So people were living in a scattered manner. Not many people, but here and there people were found. And the population being concentrated along the seafront. So where the many people were living near the seashore. I saw to my surprise that many thick strands of coconut palms were still standing even on the edge of the water. So to his surprise, he found that thick strands of coconut palms. Thick strands means coconut gardens. Thick strands means coconut gardens. So he found that many coconut trees, many palm trees were still standing straight on the edge of the water near the seashore. So even after such a great calamity like tsunami, so those trees, those coconut and palm trees were not at all destroyed. They were standing straight. As for the forest, the canopy seemed almost undisturbed. So in the forest, so what is canopy? Canopy means if you go to a thick forest, a dense forest which is fully covered with trees. So if you look above, so you can see that sunlight cannot reach the ground. So trees are so closely present that sunlight cannot reach the ground. So that covering, so the covering found by the trees is called as canopy. So that covering is called as canopy. I hope you understood what is canopy. Canopy means covering. All trace of habitation, on the other hand, had been obliterated. So at one place near the seashore, there were many people found, there were many people living, but on the other hand, in other places, population had been obliterated. Means what? Obliterated means to remove completely, leaving no trace. Obliterated means to remove completely, leaving no trace. So there was no trace of people living on the other places. It was evident that the tsunami had been peculiarly selective in the manner of its destruction. So it was evident, it was clearly seen that tsunami was peculiar. Peculiar means specific. Okay, so tsunami was very peculiar, specific. It was specific in destroying only selective places. Only selective places were destroyed by that tsunami. Okay, destruction means so act of destroying. Okay, destruction means the act of destroying. So what is the opposite word of destruction? It is construction. It had caused maximum possible damage to life and property and had left nature largely unharmed. So it had caused damage to life and property. So it had caused maximum damage to life, means human beings and their property. Most of the people lost their lives, lost their houses, and it had left nature largely unharmed. So nature was not at all destroyed by tsunami. So here the author has said earlier that still that coconut trees, palm trees and the forest covering was still present. It was not at all disturbed. So nature was not harmed at all. We came to the district library. It was unharmed like the surrounding offices. So then after that they went to district library and it was also not harmed. There was a medical camp. The director spotted a doctor and enquired him about his family. So there was a medical camp. Medical camp means many doctors and nurses will be there for serving the people who have suffered in that natural calamity tsunami. So in that camp he immediately found one doctor and rushed towards him and started asking him about his family, about his wife and his daughter whom he had lost in that calamity. The doctor said, "No news has reached me. I have not heard anything." So the doctor said, "No, I didn't get any news about your family members." We continued on our way. The director hurried to a spot where there was a mound of household objects and showed me his aristocrat suitcase, a steel trunk, a cabinet, records of his office, and slides. So then they keep on walking, and then that director immediately rushed towards one place. So there was a mound of household objects. Mound means it is a raised portion or elevated portion. Okay. Mound means raised or elevated area. So there was a heap of household objects, and the director showed to the author his suitcase, his aristocrat suitcase, one company suitcase, a steel trunk, a cabinet, records of his office, and slides. So he showed him all the official things. He took his slides. So he only picked his slides. So as I have told you earlier, slides are used in biological labs. So if you put some minute organisms that are not visible to our naked eyes in that slide, and by observing them under the microscope, we will get an enlarged image of that organism. So he took his slides only. As he was a scientist, he took his slides only. We continued, and after seeing the glimpse of the seafront, the director came to the point where his house had once stood. So, after seeing the seashore, glimpse means after taking the view. Okay, view means glimpse. Glimpse, a brief look or view. So, after taking the glimpse of the seashore, the director went towards one place and told him, pointing towards that place, he told him, he said, "This was my house." So, pointing towards one place, he said that this was my house. So, that house is not present now. It is completely converted into pieces after tsunami. Only the foundation was concrete, the rest was wood. So, only that foundation, okay, only the foundation was made of concrete, was made of building materials, and the rest, the remaining part of the house was made of wood. Certainly, if you observe the houses near the seashore, which are continuously attacked by some natural calamities, their houses are made of wood only. So, similarly, the director's house was made of wood. My wife used to teach English in a school here, but she wanted to leave. I applied many times, but the transfer never came. So, recollecting the memories of his wife, he said that his wife used to teach English in a nearby school, and she wanted to leave that school, but she couldn't get transfer. So she wanted to go to her husband's place, but she couldn't get transfer. There was so much she could have achieved. I was never able to give her the opportunity. So, if she was still present, if she was still alive, she could have achieved a lot, because she was very talented. And he is feeling sad, the director is feeling sad, because he didn't give her enough opportunity or chance to grow in her career. So, these all things the director tell about his wife. When I reached out to touch his arm, he shook my hands brusquely away. So, when the author tried to console the director by touching his arms, so that director brusquely took his hands away. He did not want sympathy from others. Brusquely. Underline that word. Brusquely means quickly and rather impolitely. Brusquely means quickly and rather impolitely, means he quickly took his hands away. He did not want sympathy from others. He showed his daughter Vincetta's paint box but did not pick it up. When I asked him why he did not pick it up, he said, "What good will it do? What will it give back?" So then he found the paint box of his daughter. So what was the name of his daughter? Vincetta. So her paint box was lying there, but he did not take it. Usually, in general, we take the belongings of our dear ones, of our loved ones after their death, to keep it as a memory of them. But director didn't take her belongings. So when author asked, "Why didn't you pick up the paint box of her?" So the director said that, "What will I get back? Will I get back my daughter by taking it? So if I take it and keep it with me, again and again I will be recollecting the memories of my daughter, and I will be in sorrow." As a husband, a father, a human being, it was impossible for me not to wonder, what would I have done? What would I have felt? What would I have chosen to keep of the past? So, the author thinks that if I was in the place of the director, I don't know what would I have done. So it is very hard to imagine myself in his situation. So the director was not able to express his feelings, was not able to express his sorrow. So the author feels very sad. The truth is that nobody can know. It is an expression of the innermost sovereignty of the self because nothing now remains to cloud its vision. Sovereignty, underline that word. Sovereignty means freedom. Okay, complete freedom. Sovereignty means complete freedom. So, the author says that nobody can understand the truth or understand the pain that the author was undergoing, because it is the innermost feeling of the heart. So the pain he is undergoing will be known by the director only. So in the manner of his choosing there was not a particle of hesitation or the faintest glimmer of doubt. Perhaps he must have found some comfort in the knowledge of an impersonal effort. So nobody can understand the pain that the director was undergoing. So really it was a heartbreaking situation in the life of the director, because he was feeling regret, he was feeling upset because he couldn't save his family, he couldn't do anything for them. So he was feeling sad for that, and he would have, so of course he would have felt some comfort after seeing the belongings of his dear ones. Sometimes words seem futile, and at these moments it seems nothing is of value other than to act and intervene in the course of events. Sometimes words seem futile. Okay, underline futile. Futile means useless. Okay, futile means useless. Word seems useless. So whatever we speak, it is of no use. It is not going to change the past, or it is not going to bring back the lost ones. It seems nothing is of value other than to act and intervene in the course of events. So in certain situations, like the situations faced by the director, we have to just face the situation and we have to get involved in that situation. So simply speaking about the past, or simply getting ourselves in sorrow or suffering the pain, it will not bring back anything. We have to intervene. Intervene means to become involved in the situation. Intervene means to become involved in a situation. So we have to get involved in that situation. Even thinking, reflecting and writing about it seem trivial and wasteful. So thinking, writing and reflecting. So thinking again and again about the past, or recalling the memories about the past is wasteful and trivial. Trivial means it is of no value. Okay, trivial means of very little value. It is of no value. We will get only sorrow by it. And after the day had passed, I understood that in the manner of choosing, the director had mounted the most singular, the most powerful defense of it that I would ever witness. So, after that day, the author understood that whatever the director did, whatever the thoughts of the director were absolutely correct. It was appreciable, and he understood that why he didn't take the belongings of his dear ones, because by collecting it, by keeping it with him, will again push him towards the sorrow. And the author respected the powerful decision of the director. So that was the powerful defense that the director had ever witnessed. So the decisions of the director was very respectful and was very powerful. So the author had never witnessed such powerful defense or such powerful man in his life. Witness means to see. Okay, witness means to see. So this is about the lesson The Town by the Sea, written by Amita Ghosh. I hope you have understood the lesson. I will send the question and answers. Write it down in your notes. Thank you.